So, in the last few days, van life's been in the news a lot, hasn't it? So in the last week, myself and the Boondockers and Phil from Camper Van Life did a little section on the one show, as you may have seen from the video that I posted. 2 previous videos. I milked this one for all it's worth. Believe me, 2 videos out of that. Today on the Jeremy Vine show on Radio 2, they had an interview with somebody who also lived in a van. And also today, Owen Jones has printed an article in The Guardian about van life. Now, obviously I'm in a lot of Facebook groups to do with living in vans or alternative living, and you're all going crazy about it. I'll be honest, it's all the groups are full of people talking about van life being in the media. Good and bad, to be honest. Now, let me just sit in the fucking seat. Okay, so first of all, the one show. The one show wasn't just about van life or what van life is about or all that kind of thing. It was a 5-minute set of clips talking about a couple that were converting a van, and they were asking other people that lived in vans what van life was like. It was 5 minutes. We were all portrayed in a really good light. There was no negativity whatsoever. The only negativity was from the backlash from people on Twitter and people on some Facebook groups saying, "Oh, never talk to the BBC" and all that kind of thing. I understand now. I'm with you. Like, talking to the media is risky at times, but if managed right, it's all right. You know, you need to make it clear to those news outlets that you do not. You want to say certain things, and you do not want it to be twisted. I would never talk to somebody who. If a journalist messaged me and said, "Oh, I'm going to do an article on the pros and cons of van life," I probably wouldn't get involved in it. But the one show was different. It was essentially what I would do anyway. I talk to people about vans all day long. I get approached by people who are converting vans and give them advice on it. So it was just the same. It was just on TV, and it was a bit of a laugh. I got together with the Boondockers, who are my friends. And I got to meet some nice people. It was something to talk about. It was something that was a bit of fun. And we got to be on telly for 5 minutes. Nothing serious at all. There was nothing to panic about. They're not clamping down on van life as a result of a 5-minute thing on TV. So, today, there's been somebody talking, another van lifer, on the Jeremy Vine show on BBC Radio 2. The article's been shared around on social media, and you're all losing your minds again. Oh my God, this is the end of van life. You're ruining it for everybody. All these young ones coming in and ruining it for all us that have been doing it for years. Blah, 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 blah. Listen, come here. People have been living in vehicles since vehicles were about, probably. The media have known about it. The government have known about it. And we're all still living in vehicles. Come on, lighten up a little bit. It doesn't... the DVLA clamping down on people converting vans, that's to stop people from doing dodgy things with vans. That's to stop people from claiming that a work van is a camper van to get cheaper insurance or cheaper tax or get out of congestion charges or whatever. All this stuff, they're not doing it to stop people from living in vans. Pipe down a little bit. Calm. Take breaths. Come on, let's breathe with me. Come on. Just take some breaths. It's not the end of the world. Don't worry. So anyway, they're not going to stop us living in vans anytime soon. They're more likely to stop vans completely before they stop people living in vans, okay? And that's probably not going to happen in our lifetime anyway, so don't panic. It's all hysteria. Just calm down a bit. Anyway, Owen Jones has printed an article in the Guardian today. Now, Owen Jones is a complex character. I do quite like Owen Jones's books. I do like some of his articles that he writes. But he is a bit of a, I don't know, one of these guys that likes controversy, let's say controversy sometimes. I understand that that's to boost his online presence and all that kind of thing, and that's fine. You know, I've got no beef with Owen Jones. Again, his book is right up there. It's one of my favourite ever books. Anyway, so he's posted this article today, and the title of it is that van life isn't romantic. It is a sign of the housing crisis. Now, I have said before that in my video when you all cried about Boris Johnson, yeah, it is political. It is absolutely. We are living in vehicles to some extent because of the housing crisis. I'm not because I'm desperate and I can't afford to live in a house. It's that I don't want to have to afford to live in a house. I don't want to have to pay all these bills and stuff. I want to be able to enjoy my life. It's not. I don't live in a van out of desperation whatsoever. I could, even if I wasn't working, I could go get a council house and get housing benefit and council tax benefit and all that kind of thing. In this country, we are privileged that houses are available to us. So if I want to live in a house, I could live in a house. Now, there are some people that can't, that don't get houses. There are homeless people and all that kind of thing, and there are people that live in vehicles out of desperation. Although I don't really understand. There are other alternatives. If you can't afford to live in a house, there are other alternatives other than living in a vehicle. However, living in a vehicle is fucking romantic. I don't care what you say, right? Don't knock it until you've tried it, because this last year living in this van has been incredible. I wouldn't swap it for anything. No matter what you say, no matter what the stigma is, no matter what the media might say or whatever, or what people trolls online or on Twitter would say, this is romantic. This is absolutely romantic. Like, if I'm not parked in I'm not parked in a particularly nice area right now, but I'm having a good time. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm probably still parked in a better area than some of your housing estates that you live in. Just go on my Instagram and look at the photos that I post. Tell me they're not romantic. The views that I see, the sunsets, the sunrises, the beautiful woodland and moorland and hills and all that kind of thing, and beaches. Tell me that's not romantic. Now, I know everybody's not going through the exact same thing as me, but I am just your average van dweller. And there's nothing. There are many special things about me, but there's nothing really special about me, really. Like, I'm just your average person, but I'm making it work. And again, I appreciate it's not for everybody, and some people would struggle with it. I've always said this. It is a bit like Marmite. Sorry to use that, but it is a bit, you know, you either love it or hate it. But for the most part, if you make it work, you make it work. If you want to live in a van on a dual carriageway, and just park there and just live in it, then that's up to you. But that, for me, that's not making the best of van life, is it? Why would you want to park on a busy road anyway when that's not good? Every time a car goes past, your van's rocking and it's noisy and there's people about and all that kind of thing. You don't have to do that. Living in a vehicle doesn't mean you have to live on a road. People need to understand that. Like, it's so frustrating that's what people think. Oh well, I live in this van now. I'm gonna park on this fucking busy road. I'm parked on a side road here, which is a dead end. There's industrial estates both sides. There's a main road over that way, and down that way is a bit of greenery, and then another industrial estate. I'm making the best of a bad situation, as in I'm parked fairly central to Sheffield, but I'm parked in a nice place. You don't have to just be on a main road. So that's what I don't know. That's what people seem to think, that you parked on main roads, and if you do live in a van and you parked on a main road, why? You don't have to do that. Go find some countryside, or go find some parkland or something. This country is very green. You don't, you know, you can park in nice places. Sometimes I do park on industrial estates. Sometimes I do park on side streets. But I make this work. And van life is exactly what you make it. So you can sit being miserable in a city centre or wherever if you want to do that. But I prefer my van life to be romantic. So I'm going to make it romantic. Here we have romance in a van. And boy, is it romantic. Oh my goodness. It is. Look at my bed. My bed's romantic. Look at the romance in there. Oh, it's pretty. So, yeah, anyway, just to recap. Van life's been in the media a lot over the last week. It's not going anywhere. The articles have all been positive. Stop your flipping whining. This has been... I don't know what I'm going to say. This video has been off the back of some comments that I've seen online, and I just hope that it clears things up a little bit. Don't be put off by moving into a van if that's what you want to do. If you live in a van, don't be put off by it. Make it work. You can make it romantic. It doesn't have to be just like a desperation thing. In fact, I don't understand the desperation thing. Surely if you can afford to pay council, if you can afford to pay insurance, tax, fuel money, all those things, and to convert a van, then surely you can go find a place to live also. I don't know. If you want to live in a van, live in a van. If you don't want to live in a van, don't live in a van. Get to council and they'll sort you out. See you later.